Hi LEGO fans! Finally, the fourth Friday of Advent is here, and 5 fresh festive fancies fear their freedom from door 22 of every LEGO Advent calendar. Yesterday's gifts suggested an uptick in effort, all except for the Marvel Avengers, who came last, earning 1 point for their table with seasonal accoutrements. In fourth with 2 points was LEGO Star Wars, who found my lack of faith in Emperor Palpatine's throne disturbing. Friends rode into third place and earned 3 points for a festive loco, and that left us with 2 minifigures to battle to the death. Mrs. Claus came very close, earning 4 points and a festive bonus point for LEGO City, but she couldn't meet the new and exclusive Draco Malfoy, which might well be Harry Potter's swan song. With only 3 gifts per calendar left competing for points, LEGO Friends seems to be toast in last with 59 points. Marvel Avengers has 64, and LEGO City are in joint second with 70. Also sharing second place is Harry Potter with 70 points, and they're both going after LEGO Star Wars, who's in first with 73. Can Harry Potter snap out of his dry spell, or could City make a comeback? Let's tear open some doors and find out. Keen to show they're not dead yet, we are starting off with LEGO Friends and door number 22. I have a sneaky suspicion what might be in here, and I am not wrong. We're not going to be searching for this one today. Yeah, it's another part of the train, or certainly a second part. I suspect by looking at this there may be more than 2 of them, which is not going to help LEGO Friends with their scoring. That could be actually really bad. Yeah, it's a carriage for the train, and judging by the 1x2 jumper we saw on the engine yesterday, I suspect we're meant to put a couple of these animals on here. So we're going to have the animal train, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm so looking forward to seeing that on Christmas Eve with all of the animals on it. It is going to be epic. Said nobody ever. So let me put together this little train, and we shall judge it for what it is. And so our first gift of the day from LEGO Friends is a wagon to go with the train we didn't want yesterday. Making this even more exciting, we have a couple of 2x2 jumper plates on top. Speaking of jumpers, I walked into a bar last week with a set of jumper cables and asked for a beer. The barman said, "Okay, but don't start anything." Let's say a warm welcome back to Popcorn the Gecko and Diabito the morbidly obese cat. The train wheels match the locomotive we got yesterday and are thankfully strong enough to support Diabito. Addressing the elephant in the room, no, not you Diabito, this wagon has not 1, but 2 connection points. It will come as no surprise that this pairs with the gift we got yesterday to make a little train. Trains are a good way to move freight and avoid traffic. I was sitting in traffic the other day, probably why I got run over. But seriously, the traffic was horrendous. A truck full of Vicks Vapor Rub overturned. Thankfully the congestion quickly cleared. The colour of the wagon pretty much matches the train we got yesterday, the only difference being the bright light orange jumper plates on which you can sit the animals. The ball joint is a really good choice and gives the wagon some side to side and even up and down motion. Cool as this may be, we will be judging the train car as a standalone gift. A chance for some bonus points may come on Christmas Eve. One thing LEGO hasn't considered is health and safety. You'll notice there are no rails to stop the animals jumping off at full speed. Do not underestimate the stupidity of a cat. If we're not careful, we could end up with pulverised popcorn and dead Diabito. Pulling together elements from multiple days gives us a really nice train. It may even be some good thumbnail clickbait. But the reality of my twisted world means we'll only be awarding points for the wagon. Will this wagon wheel into first place and win gift of the day? We'll find out later in the video. So clearly LEGO Friends not learning from previous years and stumbling at the last hurdle with a multi-day gift. So let's see, hopefully LEGO City won't make that same mistake. Let's reveal the horrors within, and alright, there's some nice bits in here. Yeah, I think we're looking at a sleigh here. The thing I am interested in is the massive sword elements that are for the rails. Pearl gold. Are they swords? Oh yeah, those are definitely minifigure. I'm sure there's a special name for a sword with a big spike on the end. Although you probably won't remember it after you've encountered one. This is, yeah, it looks like Santa's sleigh. We all know who's coming on Christmas Eve, and I'm sure he'll look great in this, but we will be judging the sleigh standalone. So let's put this together and we shall see how it looks. And so from LEGO City, we have this badass looking sleigh. I mean, the runners are made out of swords. How much more badass can you get? The sword, as modelled by Mrs. Claus, is either called the Uruk-hai or was used by the Uruk-hai in Lord of the Rings. This is an advent calendar video, the research isn't going to be that good. It's an absolutely brutal looking thing and doesn't really scream festive. Worst of all, these are jutting out the front of Santa's sleigh. If you get hit by one of these, it will take sleighing to a whole new level. One slightly annoying feature of this build are the two sliders underneath. Apart from being really shiny, you just can't get the sleigh to sit straight. In the middle of the sleigh we find a rather nice green seat. Looks perfect for some kind of minifigure. There's a nice red curved element at the front which probably won't protect the occupants from bird strikes, and attached to the back of the sleigh we have a clip element. I suspect we may be needing this fairly soon. Apart from a trailer and some kind of bulging sack, we're just missing the big red guy from the front of the box. I hear Santa had to turn the sleigh around last Christmas Eve. He left the reins down in Africa. To make matters worse, he got pulled over by the police who wanted to search his sleigh. They had probable cause. As an advent calendar gift, it's certainly colourful and fits the festive theming. But will this be able to slay the competition and take home 5 points? Stay tuned to find out! So, proving that advent calendars never learn, it looks like both City and Friends are going with multi-day gifts. Let's see what the Marvel Avengers are going to do. Come on guys, all you have to do is knot this up. Let's have a look, and it's a minifigure day. Who is that? I do like the big blue element. Now I have been learning a little bit about the Avengers, maybe not this character, but I believe that might be the Tesseract. I guess which would make this one of the older characters, perhaps from one of the earlier movies. Now, I really haven't seen them all, and I'm sorry, I know probably half of you out there know exactly who this is. I don't, apart from some bald guy who's got quite a good tan. But anyway, I will figure this out. I'd never spoil the surprises by learning who these people are beforehand. I'll figure it out, and we shall take a closer look at them. Once again, my lack of Marvel knowledge lets me down, but when I say it's always a good day when you get a minifigure, I just can't be wrong. This character is indeed called Wong, and he's not exclusive to the calendar. He also appears in 76269 Avengers Tower and 76218 Sanctum Sanctorum. He may be Wong, but it feels just right. Wong's light trans blue accessory is actually quite interesting. This, believe it or not, is actually a minifigure head. Don't believe me? Now that truly is Wong. I so wanted to do this, but I forgot that mini dolls have skinny necks. Now I'm going to need another 6 months of therapy. The element was actually invented for the Minecraft theme, but has been used elsewhere. In the context of this minifigure, this is not the decapitated head of Steve. It is of course the Tesseract, which contains one of the Infinity Stones. The character is of course Wong, who is Doctor Strange's friend and fellow sorcerer. Ironically, Wong is played by the actor Benedict Wong. I hear it's a nightmare when he goes out driving with his wife. They never get to their destination because two Wongs don't make a right. Wong stands on very standard dark blue legs. The torso print is marginally more interesting and includes some gold metallics. That printed detail continues on the back of the torso and is presumably traditional dress. I've not done nearly enough research to comment on that. Similarly, I have very little concept of what Wong looks like, so I'm just going to say, good job LEGO, it's a fairly decent print. Like the minifigure which should have been behind door number 17, Wong's hair is completely gone. I once went to a zoo that had a bald porcupine. It was pointless. I don't think this is the best minifigure offering from the Marvel Avengers this year, but it's always a good day when you get a minifigure. You just can't go Wong. Will Wong be the right gift to take home 5 points today? We'll find out in just a few minutes. So really good to see the Marvel Avengers not making a Wong step today. Let's see what we've got from LEGO Star Wars in Two Little Ducks, number 22. We don't have many of these left. And we've got a big grey blob. I don't know what that is. It's a bunch of triangles. It may look better when it's all put together. You know what? I think I'd better do that because I have no idea what this is. So I'll pull it out like it's going to be more interesting if I do that. It is a big grey ship, and I'll tell you what it is in a moment. So after putting this together and looking at it from the right angle, it's pretty obvious. Today's gift from LEGO Star Wars is an Imperial Star Destroyer. Straight off the bat, this is not the best looking thing and looks quite awkward when you set it down. I'm using a standard and clear plastic element to make this look a little bit better. We first saw one of these in the opening scenes of Episode 4, A New Hope. You'll remember it was chasing the Tantive 4. The best known Imperial I-Class Star Destroyer was the Devastator, the flagship of Darth Vader. As a bonus fact, Darth Vader's favourite month is Imperial March. A little known fact is that Darth is also a serious foodie, but doesn't eat Ewoks. They're a little chewy. It's a pretty simple recreation, but on top you can see the command bridge. The real thing is so gigantic compared to the micro-scale model that there are barely any details here. If you're looking for details, I would refer you to the 75252 Imperial Star Destroyer. This thing is enormous. It's a pretty cool model and just about works at this scale, but I feel we have seen these in calendars before. Cool it may be, but it doesn't really have the wow factor of something like the ATST. Despite all that, will the Imperial Star Destroyer have what it takes to destroy the competition today? I think we'd better find out what the boy wizard has up his sleeve. So a grey blob it may have been, but at least we got to the bottom of what it was. Now, we had a minifigure day from Harry Potter yesterday. I don't have high hopes for today, but I'm always happy to be surprised with a little Harry Potter magic. So let's see what we've got. And oh my. Alright, I think this might be Malfoy related, but this is going to be a little bit obscure. So yeah, but basically we've got a snow surrounded bench. I think, thinking about this, this is going to be from the encounter with Malfoy at the Shrieking Shack, and the three, Harry, Ron and Hermione, sit down on this bench afterwards, if I recall it correctly, and it looks like the bench. But if you think that's a great Advent Calendar gift, then clearly you're easier pleased than me. I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then we shall see how many points it can possibly muster. And so our final gift of the day from Harry Potter is a bench. Now, I did convince myself that there was a bench like this outside of the Shrieking Shack, but on a quick review of the movie, I see nothing like this. I think I'm going to have to conclude that this is unrelated filler. The bench consists of exactly 6 elements. With sitting room for only one minifigure, it is pretty impractical. Last week I gave my seat to a blind person. I'm not allowed to drive buses anymore. In keeping with the Hogsmeade theme, there is a small pile of snow on one side, and a much larger snowdrift on the other. The bench is also standing on a layer of snow, or to be more precise, a 2x6 white plate. I'm not going to lie, as benches go, this is pretty much the minimum viable product. Maybe LEGO could have added a backrest, or even make it big enough for the 3 main characters. In fact, it's a good job we've got this seat, because I don't stand for bad Advent Calendar gifts. I think gift of the day is totally out of the question here, but just how badly will Harry Potter do? I think it's time to find out. And finally we have our colourful and not so colourful collection of gifts from behind door number 22 of every LEGO Advent Calendar. From LEGO Friends we got part 2 of the Crazy Train, LEGO City gifted us the most dangerous looking sleigh I've ever seen, and from the Marvel Avengers, who could go wrong with a minifigure holding the Tesseract. Star Wars in their ever festive wisdom went with an Imperial Star Destroyer, and finally being elevated to new heights we got a bench from Harry Potter. But which of these gifts deserves to take a ride through a winter wonderland on Santa's killer sleigh, and which is destined to be sleeping rough on Harry Potter's bench this Christmas? Let's award some points! In last place, taking home 1 point for Harry Potter, is the bench. I honestly think this is what the word filler was invented for. Coming in 4th, earning 2 points for the LEGO Friends, is the wagon for the train. This is going to look great when it's all put together, but that's not how we do things around here. A mid-place finish and 3 points goes to LEGO Star Wars for the Imperial Star Destroyer. Definitely not festive and lacking the wow factor. Today's runner-up, earning 4 points for LEGO City, is Santa's sleigh. And that means it's always a good day when you get a minifigure, and the Avengers couldn't go Wong today. They get 5 points for Wong and the Tesseract. But do you agree with today's scores? Do I deserve to be frozen out by the wizarding community for my harsh treatment of Harry Potter's bench? Or can I expect another WikiLeaks incident with the Devastator showing up at my door for disrespecting Star Wars? As always, please do share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. I do read them all and I respond to as many as I possibly can. Now we do have one more point to award, and that's for Festive Gift of the Day. The festive point goes to LEGO City for Santa's sleigh. So after pinpointing the point and performing triple entry tabulation, how are we looking in the final stages of LEGO Advent Calendar of the Year 2023? In last place and looking destined to stay there are the LEGO Friends with 61 points. In 4th with 69 dudes are the Marvel Avengers. 3rd place is occupied by Harry Potter with 71 points. And our current runner-up is LEGO City with 75. That means LEGO Star Wars stands just 1 point ahead with 76 points. So it all comes down to the remaining 2 days and 10 gifts. Can Star Wars stay in the lead, or will City perform a Christmas miracle and win Advent Calendar of the Year for the first time? I simply can't wait to open up every door number 23 on every LEGO Advent Calendar tomorrow. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome LEGO content. I will be making more videos in 2024. all that remains is for me to say have a fabulous Friday, stay safe my friends, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow for a super sensational Saturday.